Hello guys and welcome to Coaster Climax. In this video we will be discussing the Nemesis Reborn opening day. So, for those of you that don't know, Nemesis Reborn is the reiteration of the original Nemesis ride that opened in 1994 at the Alton Towers Resort in Staffordshire, England. For Nemesis's 30th year anniversary, it was redesigned and reimagined as Nemesis Reborn. So by that, they took out all of the track and supports and replaced them with fresh new track supports, redesigned trains, repainted track, everything. The station was reimagined. And with all of that, it left a massive hype around the whole Nemesis experience that Alton Towers managed to put out that day. So Nemesis Reborn opening day was a very big hit. There was thousands of people all queued up at the entrance of the park. We got there at about 6:45 in the morning, where we got in the queue. We were right by the front, along with loads of other people that had been queued there from early on in the morning, preparing themselves for the rebirth of Nemesis. It started off with just a couple hundred people in the opening security area, and within about half an hour it turned to over 100 people all gathered in this small area, and by the time it was opening time the queue was going back towards the car park, which was thousands and thousands of people all ready to experience the reimagining of Nemesis. So at the start of the day, they opened the gates, everyone ran. I in fact nearly tripped over my own feet trying to get there, where there was just a big wave of people running over there to try and get the first rides for over a year on Nemesis. Obviously Nemesis is a very long walk away to the back of the park from at the front where the entrance is, so anyone that got on by the hotel, they were first in line, as there's a hotel entrance right by Nemesis, which meant that they can get straight onto the queue. Unfortunately I wasn't one of those, but kind of wish I was, because it would have been cool to be one of the first few trains that did go around. When we got into the queue for it, I was pleasantly surprised with what they had done. There was a lot of theming, a lot of things to do. They had observation platforms that they had all scattered around the queue, which wasn't in the previous queue line for Nemesis, and this queue took you up to the old extended queue line, which was very cool to experience, just because you could get different angles of it. You could look down into the pit of Nemesis and see the theming they had. There was one scene of a container that was like an old science lab that is to do link with the phalanx and the research of Nemesis, where a piece of the track had been cut into, along with a video in the background, which I thought was really good, really clever, the way they had themed it all in, brought it all in with the ride experience, which I thought 10 out of 10 to them. They done an extremely good job there. Now, in terms of the other ones, there was another track piece that was just laying across. I felt, as well as it looked cool, I think there wasn't much complementing it, so it was just there by itself. It didn't tell as much of a story as the other areas in the theming, because that was the first one you saw. It left you a bit wondering why it was there. However, I think the fact that it was there is still very good idea, really cool, really unique compared to any other ride I've ever experienced. As soon as you get into the station, it immerses you on a whole new level. The way that they've done it, where you go in, the ambience is all red, dark, like you're inside of the monster, which is where the station is based. You can see all of the veins and feel the heartbeat, the sounds of the blood all pumping around. I think it was very, very well themed the way that they'd done it, and along with the whole story of Nemesis, sold the storyline of Nemesis that he was inside this monster, and the monster was coming out to get everything. I felt like inside the station you really felt that, because seeing us before we went in there, we wasn't really sure what we was expecting. The way that they'd shown bits of the station on the news, and we still didn't get a grasp of what they'd actually done, was just amazing. And then we come down to the eye. Now the eye was spectacular. I've never seen anything like that before. The way that the tentacles around the eye all can move with the animatronics, and the eye itself is interactive with the ride, is very clever. The small little details that really make up the whole ride experience that they had there. However, I think where it is, when we first went into Forbidden Valley, I think because there was such a rush to get onto Nemesis, we didn't really look at the other bits of theming, and we did miss it the first time we went into Forbidden Valley. But when we went back there later on in the day, when it was a bit quieter, I did see that, and it was incredible to be able to see, and what the look it managed to achieve, and to get a sense of the whole monster and the Nemesis creature in itself. It was very well integrated, and I don't think they could have done a better job at it. The ambience it gives towards the whole of Forbidden Valley, the way that the monster all reaches out, it's really impressive. On my first train round, I was I mean, it's intense. It's just as good as the original Nemesis. Obviously, the layout is entirely the same, so you get the same forces, the same good pace. However, there was a slight rattle, and I noticed this as well with Mandrill Mayhem when that first opened. I've noticed with a lot of new B&M coasters that they are having rattles, so hopefully that will smooth out with time, as with the last corner going into the station, their rattle on there was quite intense and you could feel it. And the coaster is still smooth, it's a B&M, it's a good quality product. I'm just hoping that it doesn't affect the ride experience too much in its further days when it does come to potentially being put on the cutting board in 20-30 years time. The gift shop for Forbidden Valley, even that managed to build up a 2-hour queue. I mean, the ride itself had a 4.5-hour queue on opening day. It was stretched all the way back to the Runaway Mine Train, and even just to get in the gift shop they had to have a wrap queue line, which I think is mental for a gift shop. However, we didn't go in there till the second day, and on the second day I seen why there was so much hype around it. As I went in there not expecting it too much, and they kept up the theming and the level of details they did with the entire ride in itself. So that when you go in there, they have a model on a table of the monster itself, Nemesis creature, and they also have a model of the old ride train, which I thought was really clever, really impressive. It puts in little bits of detail that isn't always expected from a gift shop. It was really well received, and with little parts of the whole of the gift shop. Say when the announcements come out and you're in there looking at a jumper and it says that anything you purchase goes towards the Phalanx security. I think just all the things going down to the announcements and the posters of the missing character from the missing guy from the marketing, and all the little bits of details really makes up to build up a whole immersive experience, and I really felt that in just the shop alone. Like, I was immersed in tackling down Nemesis, finding out more about it, being involved in part of the Phalanx. So in terms of the gift shop, what I personally bought, I did buy this Nemesis hat, the Reborn hat, which the design of it, the quality of it is very, very well. I'm chuffed with it. However, it is very expensive. £18 for one hat. And I also bought a jumper which was £60, and I think that is a lot of money just for a jumper and a hat. It's nearly £100. However, the merch quality is very well. It's not just ironed on, it's really good quality, which I think does make up for the huge price that you do pay. So in terms of the overall weekend experience, do I think it was worth going down there for opening day, the big queues, the whole atmosphere of it? 100%. Would happily go and do it again. It was a great experience meeting loads of people, going down there and seeing everything. However, the only thing I would personally change is I would probably would have booked the hotel just so I could get a bit further on in the queue, as we did still wait 2 hours, and I would also probably would have stayed an extra day, because we did do the 2 days, and the Saturday and Sunday were very busy, and I think if we would have stayed for the Monday on a quieter day, we would have had a bit of a better experience, as on the Sunday the ride availability was not good. Most rides were breaking down. We didn't actually finish our first ride, get on our first ride until 2 PM, and we'd been there from 8 AM that morning. I think where we'd travelled so far, it was slightly frustrating. However, towards the end of the day, it did get better. We did get on some rides, and we did head home for a long drive home. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, hit a like. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And I will see you all in the next one. See you later.